LPJ. We finna get right with inside advice, some ill entertainment, industry insight. Listen, it's like sitting, building up on the yard. HU, the Bison Chats, the Vanguard. HU, you know.
What's up? This is Roddy Mel. Welcome to the Yard, a.k.a. Bison Chats. I'm your host, Roddy Mel, a bison interviewing a bison in the entertainment industry in association with the Kelly R. Griffin Bison Project from Howard to Hollywood. Cycle 2, a feature film project that will be written, produced, directed, and starring H.U. Bison. Before we get started, get your alcohol and get your shot glass ready. The Bison Chats drinking game is in effect. Every time you hear the word bison, take a shot of your favorite alcoholic beverage. I like Crown. How about that? Crown Apple at times, too. Bison, you better catch your asses up. All right, today we have as a guest here on the Yard, no doubt a bison, but a successful assistant director in Hollywood who has taken part in many films and TV shows that you would recognize. The most recognizable one I think would be you are a gladiator in a suit, maybe a gladiator in a headset, in your case. He is also the co-founder of a nonprofit organization, Urban Scholar Academy in Inglewood, California. I welcome to the Yard, Mr. Imhotep Coleman.
H.U.?
You know?
No. Yes, indeed. Thanks for having me. Yes.
No, thank you for coming. I got to say, a lot of our guests, they're able to cover their tracks because I could not, at least as we found out, I thought I knew who you were.
Private brother.
There's another, you are a private brother. Because there's another Imhotep Coleman in Houston.
God bless that brother.
God bless him, that played football, and he's like 6'5", because I really expected this 6'5" brother to come through the door. And it wasn't you. And when you said you were from Kansas City, I said, this is not the Imhotep that I saw online.
Yes, indeed.
So, please tell me about yourself, Mr. Bourne, because it's like...
Yes, indeed. Well, my name is Imhotep Coleman. You can call me Hotep or Tep for short. I'm originally from Kansas City, Missouri. There are black folks in Kansas City, just like in Milwaukee, just like in Cincinnati, just like in Oklahoma.
Gates
barbecue all day, yeah. Gates over Bryant's. Yeah, and actually, I'm a second generation. My father went to Howard. And,
really?
Yeah. Larry D. Coleman came out in 71, undergrad in communications, 73 or 74 in law school, somewhere around there, during the height of the black revolutionaries.
Okay.
He was the editor on the Hilltop. So he's a retired attorney now. So he pushed Howard to me as a young age, but I kind of rebelled against that as a young man. So I originally went to school at Florida A&M.
Really?
Yeah.
You were a rattler.
I was a rattler for 2 years.
Ooh, you thought better.
My buddies of mine, so we're Kansas City, Missouri boys, and we're looking on the map. They said Florida A&M.
All right.
That's a black college. It's let's go down here.
All right.
It's by the beach.
Let's
not.
Yeah. Tallahassee
is basically southern Georgia. Yeah, but I had an epiphany there, and it was fun times to learn about the South. I had great roommates, but when it was time to get to the nitty gritty, I said, I'm a TV film guy. My original major was broadcast journalism in college, but when I got to the AP classes of actually doing this stuff and actually doing, I said, my heart is actually in film. That's what I loved to do as a kid. And at that point, there's no film program in FAMU. There's one in Florida State, which is...
So, wait, there's no film program?
Not when I was there. I do remember...
Wow.
I had this epiphany. I was sitting in Lee Hall, which is the equivalent of Blackburn at FAMU, and the brother Will Packer was showing his first movie, Chocolate City. I was in the back of the theater, and I was like, wow. And they were some young cats at that time. I said, yo, I like what they're doing. I said, what can I do this around here? But it wasn't there. So I said, well, where can I go that has film and TV? I said, Howard has that. So I trekked to the 95. Exactly. Exactly. I say that, and I also say because when you're in school, you're looking for a job. And Tallahassee versus DC, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
When you go to college, you should go like a major city. So in the summertime or the weekends, if you can go to these internships and meet folks and go to these film festivals and meet international folks versus being in a college town where there's nothing happening. And you're sitting there doing exactly.
It is the industry. The college is the industry.
I found myself going to Atlanta every weekend, or going to Jacksonville, or going to Miami. Just getting out because I'm like, man, this is not.
Yeah.
So I made the transition to Howard, and I just hit the ground running there, man. Because the transfer game is not easy. Some classes transfer, some don't. I go from broadcast to film, and I'm taking some freshman classes, take some junior classes, doubling up on my load so I can graduate on time and get out of there. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So I went there and jammed out 21 hours per semester.
21 hours.
Yeah.
Woo.
Had to get them.
You had to get boy.
I had to go. Yeah, money was running out.
Kudos.
I had to jam it up.
So here's a question: what when you had that revelation, that you had to go up North America?
Yeah.
What did you tell
your
mama?
When
you had that, how was that sit down?
Come to Jesus moment.
I was like, but
see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Because my pops went to Howard, so it was like no brainer.
No brainer. That helped.
My parents are divorced. They've been divorced since I was a little boy, so I had to pull my mother from her lifestyle, from my father from his lifestyle, sit at the table, and say, I need my path is this way, right? They respect your decision. You're maturing from a boy to a man. They see the look in your eye that this is not a game, and I'm not gonna waste your time, money. Okay? So my dad said, let's go. Go down there, clean that dorm out, drive up the 95 with your father while you're talking about preparation, this, that, and get to DC. And as soon as I got there, I said, yeah, it's right. This is right. Everything's good. Now, at that point, I was like a equivalent of a junior. So I didn't stay in the dorm. I stayed off campus at my cousin's house, who happened to be at Howard Law. Okay. Right by Union Station. He had a house there off the red line. He used to jump on the red line at Union Station, take it over to Howard. So I was basically dealing with an adult world. I had to pay him rent, so I had to find a job, all these things. But it was perfect fit when I got in there,
Now here's a question. Did you visit Howard before you made, or you just said, no, before we going to do this, or we just going to do this?
Yeah, no. Because my pops went there, so whenever we in D.C. or on the East Coast, we used to take trips. I've seen Howard. Yeah.
So you had seen Howard. Okay.
Yeah. But you saw, I didn't, I saw it as a kid, just kind of tagging along on the family vacation. I wasn't engaged in the culture. I didn't have to take a train. I actually, the decisions you make as a young man to transition into that world. But it was a good transition. I went there with 21 hours, and I'm like, I have to be.
How many times do you hold 21 hours?
Yeah.
How many times do you hold 21 hours down?
I wish I had my transcript in front. I know the first 2 years I had to get them because I had to get some of these sophomore, freshman classes, like this intro stuff. Some of the orientation.
Don't you have to make a special request to hold 21 hours down?
No.
You don't? Okay. You just.
I did.
No. Okay.
Yeah, I had to do it. And then but when you know what you want to do, I'm not joking in them classes.
So it wasn't. You ain't quite. Yeah. It's not a question.
Yeah.
When you hit Howard, you kind of gone through your growing pains.
Exactly.
Like, I need to do this. And it wasn't no.
And see, I wasn't a bad student. I partied hard in high school. We kicked it hard in high school. I kicked it at FAMU. I kicked it hard. I was down at the last Freaknik in Atlanta. We did all that. We had party hard. So when I got to DC, it's about, let's get this. Although we still had fun. I did all the homecoming stuff, and we did all that. But it's like, right now, I got to graduate in a year and a half, 2 years, and get out there. So when I got there, I took all the intro to the screenwriting class. Vicky Saunders, who's still at HUR, she's a screenwriter. She used to be out in LA for a while. The intro to production, to filmmaking, all these things. I'm just in the front row, like, boom, this is excited. Going to the film festivals. Back then, they had the American Black Film Festival. Used to be Acapulco Black Film Festival. I went to the last year in Acapulco. Yeah. Yes. And they had this thing called Black Cinema Cafe, which was like all the films that won the festival. They used to show them around at different venues around the city and country. They had one in New York, they had one in DC, and they had them on the first Monday of every month or whatever it was, and it was kind of like at a lounge / theater, and just kind of getting out there, doing different networking events. Okay. Meeting folks that are making movies.
All right.
Right. So that was, and then making movies, actually touching the camera, and telling your stories. So that was my Howard transition, and I had to graduate. I came out in 01. So you had to make a feature. I had to make a small project. And when you think about the ability to tell your story with limited resources. Because as an undergrad, they don't really let you touch everything, right? Because I want, this big boy camera. I need this dolly track. I want to tell this story, do a raking shot. And no, you can't. You can have this wheelchair, and you can have this Bolex. So it's like, I know you mentioned about the higher hustle at some time.
Yeah.
I was thinking when I came over here, I said, it's probably when I had to make my movie there. Because you had to, because my
but you said you graduated in 2001, right?
Came in 2001. I had to do a student film.
And that's fun. That's ironic that you say that, because I wasn't in communication, but I knew guys who were in communication. They went back and they were talking about how they had so much stuff there, not like updated equipment. But you telling me they still was kind of like cuffing on the equipment?
Yeah, you had to. Now, and here's the thing: when there's limited resources, as I've learned as I've grown up through this industry, it's the limited resources. You had to allocate those to those who value them the most. Those graduate students who came in trying to get their masters in film and TV. They need that camera more than some undergrad who's fumbling around. But if I can prove that I'm responsible enough to do this, right? So I went down. So you got to go to the equipment room. Anybody who makes a movie with the hired equipment, you got to go down to that equipment room, which can be kind of intimidating if you're not familiar with what you need. But if I go in with a budget, a script, some people that I know can operate this equipment to efficiency, they say, hey, we'll let you have it, right? Okay. So I went and got that good camera, that good sound equipment.
That good stuff.
That good stuff, right? I had a good script. And I went over to the School of B. I wanted to shoot it in a different area. I went to the School of Business, which is a beautiful school compared to what the communication school was offering. And I just told them, I want to rent this school out this weekend, right?
All right.
I want this classroom. I need this hallway. I want this library. I'm doing these stairways. And I'm shooting my short film here, okay? Contract, paperwork, all these things. But long story short, they let me have that, right? Wow. So I got my location. I got my equipment. I'm auditioning talent around the school, right? I got catering. At that time, I used to work at B. Smith's, which is a restaurant in Washington, D.C. White tablecloth restaurant. I was a busser / welcome way up to a head waiter. Yeah. Had them cater the food, bringing in fried chicken, catfish, all the food. Everybody was eating good, soul food. And we had that location. So when I shot my film, it was called Holla back in 2001. This is right as the cell phones were just starting to take off. They weren't smartphones as of yet, but they were like, everyone had some kind of cell phone. Okay. And it was kind of a satire on, like, no one was communicating to each other. Everyone was kind of talking through the cells. Okay. So we shot that, and it was very popular after. I didn't get it in the Robeson Awards, but it was popular. I even got Spike Lee in there because we did a blackface for him at Howard. We just started the Blackface Awards that year. He came to get a tribute from down in Blackburn. There's a VIP reception down there, and I just talked to him. I said, say holla for the movie. And I just cut and spliced and put it in it. And then so we did the end of the semester screenings, and Spike said something, and and they played it. So it was a good movie. Okay. It was popular, and it gave you confidence. And I told, the people who said, hey, you can't use that equipment, and they said, hey, you can't. Let anybody have access to it if they have the ambition and focus.
Get it done.
To do it.
I got to ask you, what are the Blackface Awards at Howard?
Blackface Awards started actually like 2000. They were like the School of Communications way to tribute someone in communications, television, film. I'm sure they still do them. I haven't checked in a while, but the first one was to Spike Lee. And they had him come down to in the Blackburn, and they had showed different clips of his movies, and he was sitting there, and they had question and answer and all that. And then downstairs in the Blackburn, they had the reception. And so it was a way just to kind of give communications a tribute to different folks. Okay. Yeah.
Were you in a fraternity?
No. Like I said, man, my time was limited. There's two things. My pops told me on that drive up. He said, you leave this college with a degree, and you leave here with a wife. Ooh. Check. Nice. Right? So here's the thing. And I say this to all the young brothers, and it's different now. It's different. My pop's old school. But the ratio is never better in your favor. Right? 20-1, 15-1, whatever it is. And everyone is similarly on equal status. You all eating ramen noodles, you got limited income, you're living in this housing, you're going to this area, you're commuting, and then you're going back, right? Once you graduate, folks are going here and there, you spread out. Like, I don't know how the Howard folks here. Yeah. But when in college, you got a communalism, right? You learn about a woman's lifestyle, her interests, her spirituality, her health, her physical, all these things, right? So I said, I think if I'm a sister that I can ride with, right? So I end up meeting my girlfriend then, wife now, just in Harlem Renaissance.
Howard Love all in.
Boom.
Julian met his wife. He met his wife.
Yeah, that was
Howard.
It's a beautiful thing. Yeah. 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 So I check.
So and where is she from?
I know, right?
She's from Kansas City.
No.
Yes. I tell y'all the two.
Wait, hold on. You went to Tallahassee and DC to meet a girl from Kansas City.
Yes. I came up in the public schools. I'm a public school Kansas City boy.
Okay.
That's another story. She's private school.
Okay.
Our circles are not connected, but they're ellipsed a little bit.
They've got to be in Kansas City.
Her girlfriend, who went to Howard, Natasha, introduced us. She knew some of my peeps. I knew some, and she said, "You should meet Alexis." Mm-hmm. And so I just talked to her on the phone for about half an hour. I said, "This sister look half as good as this conversation."
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay.
And it was it. I met her. We went at the dinner. We went to see Blue Streak down there at the Union Station, off the red line. Had the Uno's Pizza. I said, "Yeah, that's a wrap, son." Yeah.
Check. Check. Double check. I can get back.
That.
I can get back to my studies.
Exactly.
We'll take care of this.
And she stayed in the tower, so I had a connection to the campus. I didn't have any dorms, so once class is over, I'm out of there. You know? I did go to participate in the Howard University Film Organization. Mm-hmm. But once school was over, I'm out of there, man. But when she stayed in the tower, so I can check back in, stop and get some lunch, do different things, and then check out. Mm-hmm. So, but she was, she was right.
What is it? You said HU Film Organization?
Yeah, it was a film. It's called HUFO. Back when I was there, I don't know, it might still be there. It was a Howard University Film Organization. It was basically we were trying to do scripts and work on each other's projects and do independent. A bunch of
workshopping, just groups,
yeah,
trying to help each other.
Exactly.
Okay.
And we were working on the script, and I don't know, they might have did the next semester when I left, but just a bunch of folks who were interested in film. We went to go see Bamboozled as a group. We saw that twice in a row. We all rode the train out.
Okay.
And we did a lot of, went to a lot of screenings and stuff like that, just to kind of create an organization built on kind of film and love for that. Cinema. Yeah.
Okay. But there are a lot of people. I mean, what is the racial makeup, just as in being Kansas City? What is it like?
Yeah. So Kansas City.
The percentage of black people.
Kansas City would probably be about 30% black, quietly. Okay. In the urban core, like in most cities, in the urban core, it's mostly black. And but there's another sister I know that just got a job in Kansas City, Cerner. She went to Howard. But you'll be surprised, man, because the migration of blacks, up the Mississippi to St. Louis, which is a hub, to Chicago, which is a hub, folks transition to Kansas City. My father's a civil rights attorney in Kansas City. He got kids through college off of that.
Yeah. Well, no, who created Girlfriends? She's from Kansas City. Yeah, she's from Kansas City, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to know when in your you really kind of told me about your Howard hustle. You kind of got your hustle on when you hit the road hustling.
Yeah, exactly. You had to, if I want to make this movie and filmmaking is a hustle anyway, especially independent film thing, and the way they teach you there, in the Garima and all them, it's like by hook or crook. We all steered you in a way to do independent filmmaking, so you're not dependent on a studio to finance anything. You're not dependent on someone's okay. You just say, hey, I got a script. I need this. I need that. Can we barter this? They teach you that. Yeah. Right. At that point, and they still have veins of that. The Howard Film Program is more independent than it was Hollywood.
Yes.
If you make it to Hollywood, cool.
Holly Garima is that.
That's what he taught.
It is no more independent than him.
That's what he taught. So we out there with Brad Young, who's one of the baddest cinematographers out here now. He was out there shooting movies. Yeah. So he shot Selma. He shoots all the stuff. He's the best cinematographer in the game, pound for pound. Mm-hmm. He was down there teaching us film in motion.
Yeah, they got a couple. So you were in school. Were you in school with Brad Young?
He was getting his master's while we were in undergrad, but he.
But they have a couple of. There's a big pipeline of Howard cinematographers.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. He opened that thing because he was talking high level film and motion and the light and the natural being of the set. Mm-hmm. To us young cats, we were like, whoa, Mm-hmm. And it was him and Professor Daniel Williams, who's also a Howard grad, who was a math. He was a Howard grad that he's a teacher in Ohio now. But he was like, I'm gonna teach everyone here to make a film. First day, open the book. Not our textbook, but creating a production book, And he was totally open door, had music and jazz playing in his office with incense. Younger brother, like he graduated maybe 5 years earlier than us, 6 years, but came back after he got his master's and just said, I'm going to help you cats. And it was totally like, this open door. But him and Brad are real cool cats, and they're just like, man, So they teach you the independence. So the hustle was there just by showing up, and maintaining and realizing that making films is what you want to do. Now, making films is not glamorous. The promotions of it is. The posters are.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
When you finish,
that's glamorous. Right? There's two things. The production, well, I have, got 2 kids in school and a house and a mortgage and a wife and all this stuff.
Yeah.
That's nitty gritty, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's the transition to Hollywood is like for me. So I had a girlfriend who was turned into a wife. Mm-hmm. I started my personal life before I started my career.
Okay.
I got married. I got graduated high school or college in 01. I got married in 02. I got married in 02. She finished hers. I want to stay for her to finish her master's and everything in D.C. And I did another film there called Gratuities Included. Well, I was waiting tables. I graduated. My dad said, "What are you gonna do?" I said, "I'm just gonna be here until she finished school. We finished, yeah." And while she was in school, I was waiting tables and writing and going to film festivals and doing all kind of stuff I can do in D.C. I finished a movie called Gratuities Included, which is based off of my life as a waiter.
Okay.
The tagline, if the customer's always right, what am I? Okay. So I did that. We rented out that restaurant in Union Station. Shot that. We won a grant in Maryland. But while we doing that, my wife and I flew to L.A. every year for like maybe 4 or 5 days up to a week. Mm-hmm. 2003, 2004, 2005. It's like, let's go out here for a week. Let's just get a lay of the land, right? I'm not going to move my family out here until I'm familiar with it. So what part of town is good? She was a teacher, education. What school do you want to teach? We have a love for urban youth. Mm-hmm. So what part of town benefits that? And we decided to go more towards that. We've always attracted to the Magic Johnson TGI Fridays, mm-hmm. which is close to the airport. Mm-hmm. So just live in this kind of area. Yeah. This is cool. She can teach in the LAUSD, and I'll find my way in Hollywood some kind of way. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we moved here in 2005, and she went to work teach, and I went to just say, hey, who's going to hire a production assistant? I'll take any job. There's a lady named Dorothy Thompson, who in 1992 started a program called Streetlights. Streetlights is a program she's a white lady, who after the riots happened in 92, she was like, there's no diversity on these film sets. I think we should allow the youth from South LA to get jobs. I'm gonna create a pipeline for them. She called it Streetlights program. She got some of these ex-gang bangers. She went to the churches down in South LA, mm-hmm. said, I have a program, I can get you guys some jobs in Hollywood, just being a PA. So you ain't got to be running the streets in the middle of the day. You can wake up early. Anybody knows anything about production, you up early, mm-hmm. you're there all day, you come home late, you crashing. Basically. It's all-time consuming, which was an ideal program for them at the time. So a lot of ex-game bangers that went through there have gotten blue-collar jobs and transitioned. Mm-hmm. So I said, when I got in town, I said, let me find a spot that is going to hire me. And I just happened to stumble upon that and had a heart-to-heart with her. She was not accepting any more applications. I I moved here with a family, got a baby at home. Mm-hmm. Put me toe-to-toe with any of these other folks you're hiring, and I'll make you proud of me on this game, right? She let me in there, and what they do is they give you 30 days of training. We went to CBS Radford lot mm-hmm. out there in the Valley. They give you 30 days of training. They teach you the etiquette of set, how to respond on a walkie, how to read a call sheet, how to show up on time, how to do all the things that some novice wouldn't know. I was a college student, and I have a perception of what's required of me, but I ain't got no clue of the Hollywood protocol. I
heard of the Streetlights program, but I didn't know that they took 30 days just to explain that to you.
30-day training.
That's amazing.
That's the thing. They give each of us $100, $101 bills. Mm-hmm. Okay, and there's like maybe 7 people in my class, and if someone has an infraction mm-hmm. or someone's late, someone does something, they take $5 away. She said, you can keep as much money as left over to you. Mm-hmm. Well, if he's late, everybody give me $5. So-and-so not back from lunch, someone's a $5. Someone didn't do their homework, so everybody's like, man, we're trying to keep this money, man. Come on, get them on time. As a community, they create that type of atmosphere. Yeah. So then, once you're done with that 30-day training, they get you your first 6 months, maybe, of referrals, maybe, or 30. I forget how much. There's a time frame where they'll find you jobs up to a certain point. So once you get through that, they got these commercials. And they feed you to commercials. Now, the difference between commercial and TV, commercial is a hands-on as a PA, like driving trucks, picking up film equipment, going to rental houses, dropping stuff off. Hands are dirty. You get paid a little more than TV, but you have more responsibility. My first commercial was a Carmen Electra kind of infomercial down in San Pedro, her running on the beach. Then I got another call from somebody else. You know, they feed you your jobs. Allen Iverson's a commercial in Venice Beach with Vince Young for Reebok. You get these jobs, and you keep if you show up on time, you answer the walkie quick, you know efficient. They get you the next job, and this is a freelance game, so you're only as good as your last job. They told you to keep your call sheets, right? Because these will allow you to be getting your referrals, and also allow you to get into the Directors Guild if you're interested in that. So I'm just, I'm happy to bring home money for my family, right? I'm happy. Yeah,
I'm bringing home
some money. I'm in Hollywood. I'm here now.
Yeah,
and so it's a freelance game. I go up and meet everyone on the set. Nice to meet you, but and you keep that transition going. And in commercials, they come together and they go apart. They come together and they go apart.
2 days, 3 days, and that's it.
Yeah. So I ran to a lady on one show. I gotta look her name up. She was an older white lady. She said, "What's your name? You got good hustle, young man. What's your name?" And I told her, talked to her. She said, "You should consider the Directors Guild training program." I never heard of it. So I looked it up. And then I ran to another older white man named Tom Joyner, who's part of the Directors Guild board. I met at a function for a Project Hollywood. What's the name? I forget the name. One of these functions. He said, "You should look into the Directors Guild training program." I looked it up. The deadline had passed, but I put it on my planner. I said, next year, and that deadline, when they open that thing up, I'm there. So they opened the application up to start applying for that in like November. My application was turned in that next day.
Wow.
I already knew what they need. I need that application. I need references. I need this. Boom. Right? And they said, okay, we went through that. We select you, get to the first phase. And then I went through some interviews after the second phase. I ended up getting selected for that program, which is, if anyone knows anything about Hollywood unions, the Directors Guild is the top-notch union because it deals directly with the producers. When you get into contracts negotiated for raises, Directors Guild always is the first one done because they're not, actors have more to fight for, writers have things to fight for, directors and producers are intertwined with each other all the time. Yeah. So it's an ideal program for me. But the final defining moment was when I had to sit in the boardroom with these Hollywood producer, director type guys, and they're, drilling you questions, and the whole thing is just to see how quick you answer on your feet, which is what an AD has to do all the time. And they coming in and they yelling, what are you gonna do with this set? This is giving you a bunch of hypotheticals. Yeah. And you just answering them, boom, 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 right? And they selected you in that program. So anyone that doesn't know, the Directors Guild training program, they give you on-the-job training as a trainee. 50-day intervals for 400 days. Once you finish the 400 days, you're in the Directors Guild as an assistant director. Assistant directors over time have not been as diverse, and also because the job is strenuous. The shelf life is short because it's a stressful job. You're on your feet. You're keeping the train moving. But they needed a program to train folks to do that. Yeah. So
they call it getting your days, correct?
Getting your days. Yes. Yeah. So I did my
first.
So
they still have that program, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I got a young man now. They have me a mentor now, a young man named Khalid, who was down on the show in Sony. He called me the other day. He just started. I'm going to lunch with him in a couple of weeks just to make sure the next pipeline is the pipeline stays open. My first job was on the show called, my first job in the Directors Guild training program, a show called Private Practice. I remember that. And they handed me 2 walkies. And there was 2 units going on, multiple actors, trailers, and a hot day in August over here at the Raleigh studio. Okay. And said, go to work. And you just like, what? I'm knocking on doors, getting actors, doing contracts, dealing with hair and makeup, dealing with all these things, all the responsibilities, and then at the end of the day, doing all the bookkeeping paperwork. That's basically what they train you as. And I ain't gonna lie, that first 15, 20 days, like, woo! But once you kind of settle in and realize the rhythm and what's required of you, and then you start to get a comfort level. And we did 50 days on that. Then I went to another show, Cold Case. I mean, the credits are there, but the writer's strike happened right like in the middle.
I remember that.
Yeah. So luckily I came up in commercials, and I can go call some of those folks and jump on a Super Bowl commercial, Toyota or whatever it is, and they keep that money going. But as assistant director, so here's the requirements. If I'm talking to a young me or anyone that's interested in TV and film, a lot of times in film they push you to be a director, like but there's other avenues there.
Yeah.
And I realized I like being an assistant director because it's kind of like the logistics of it. Like the director a lot of times has wishes, but the director can make those wishes kind of like fudge those wishes into a reality spectrum, right?
Yeah.
You have the key communicator on set, right? You have to talk to the cinematographer, the director, to the cast, when to show up, how to show up, when to show up, the crew who has their own responsibilities and loyalties, not necessarily background, locations, all these things, the logistics of it all. It fit me because I liked to actually have my hands involved with more so. So the assistant director program trains you in all those mindsets. You got classes on Saturday, you have the long wraps, and all these things. So I would encourage anyone that's interested in television and film to visit a film set. If I was a young man, I would have went out here in Hollywood like in the summertime. If I was in college at Howard, I would have saved up all my little ducats. And by May, I would have flew out here and found a quick summer job as a PA from between May and like school's back in August. You can bang out a quick 10 episode on whatever, or some commercials or some music videos or whatever, and then fly back with that money and have connections, right? Because this TV and film game is concentrated in New York and LA, it's not like being a teacher. You can go anywhere in the city or state of the country, or an engineer or any of these other folks. Like, you got to go where the money is, right? You can't be scared of that city. You got to go in there and just say, okay, I'm going to network and see what works. So I transitioned to an AD back in 2009. I jumped on a show called Southland, and I became an AD on that, and just been kind of working that angle ever since.
What show? You worked on Dexter?
I did work on Dexter. Southland. I'm on Scandal now. I did a movie called Funny People. Which is Apatow. That was actually during the inauguration when Obama. I was on that set when they announced the president. I stepped off that set to call my pops, and Hollywood's diverse in all kind of ways, and not everyone was so pro him or that. And I'm not getting into politics, but that was a moment. And then when he had the inauguration, because we had bought tickets to fly out to D.C. I wanted to be in D.C. I wanted to be in the place. But I'm in Sausalito, San Francisco, shooting this movie on the day of the inauguration. And here's the thing. How do you get these jobs? Who do you know? Like, they look at my resume, and they taught us how to make a resume fit for Hollywood. You just put your name at the top, your cell phone number, or an email. Then you put each show. And underneath those, you put that production team, the AD team, or the production manager. So when I hand you my resume, they're looking for names they know.
Yeah.
They know, they don't care about anything else, your college education, any of that. They say, who do I know on this resume? Oh, I know them. Let me call them. How was Imhotep? Yes, no, maybe so. Right? That's the game. And a TV, so here's the thing, 3 veins. TV is kind of like, it's like a train. You got to put the coal in the fire, keep it going. It's hard to slow down. It's hard to get started, but it gets there. It'll get there eventually, right? Movies are kind of like, maybe a movie would be kind of like a airplane. You get there faster. You're here for United States together as long. And commercials and music videos, So TV is kind of like a family. It's you've been working with these folks, the crew for a long time, the cast, people's families. You're there for 16 hours, sometimes a day, for 8-9 months, for 7 seasons, right?
Commercials are booty calls.
Exactly. There it is. Exactly. In and out.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So that's for the blue collar brothers in the city and state, in the country, that benefit, build houses and communities off of TV. You can put kids through college, all the hair, makeup, costumes, the camera folks, the sound mixers, and TV or production in general is like its own entity. Like, we're isolated from the rest of the world, but we have everything we need.
Yeah,
we have everything we need. You need food, we got to cater. We have craft service. You need a house, we got construction. Water, we can bring that. We have special effects, we have water. Sound, we have that. Camera, we have that. Light, we have that. Clothes, we have that. We're our own entity. We are not involved in the outside world. You're total isolated from the outside. But so I tell anyone that I run into contact with that has any trade, I said, you can do that in Hollywood. Anything.
Yeah.
You want to be a dance? You can do that in Hollywood. I know choreographers. You want to fight? I know stunt guys. You want to be anything? You name it. Hollywood has a vein for you. We have a dialect coach. You know, we have a medic tech.
Yeah.
We have the cop tech who I work on Southland with for 7 years. So that's what it is. It's its own entity in itself. That's what I want to stress to the youngsters coming through school. It's like, you just get out here and find out what suits you. Now, maybe production is not for you, and that's fine. Maybe it's publicity. Maybe it's marketing. Maybe it's public relations. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's accounting. Whatever it is, Hollywood can feed you. Mm-hmm. It can feed you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
As I've told Fred to say, guess what? Even while we've been in war for 10 years?
Yeah.
Movies ain't stopped.
No, it ain't gonna stop.
Entertainment don't stop.
We add more channels. We got Netflix and Amazon and all these other Hulu. It's more. I mean, people are knocking down the door. I'm getting calls all the time.
I was looking at Netflix last night.
What you see?
Netflix has a whole section just on originals now.
Oh, I love it.
They used to have like one or two.
I did the same thing yesterday.
I was like, how many originals do you have?
Yes. But here's the thing. They got the algorithm. So they started with the distribution. Mm-hmm. And they know your likes. What you star, what you don't like. So they figure out what you like and they cater, and they move backwards, right? Think about your career. If you start, I want to get here, and I move backwards to what I need to do to get there. That's what Netflix is doing. They're like, okay, you like this? You might like this too. You might like this too. And that information, that data, they move over to their departments.
I know we talked about your job. I want you to state before we go what an assistant director is, just to make sure that the audience knows.
Thank you.
And what you do.
All right, so anyone here who has a script, what do? You got a script, 100 pages, 120 pages,
yes,
whatever length it is, you got a script. How you gonna make this work? So you got all these pages, all these scenes, you got exterior car day, going down the street. What exterior what? City Street? We got lockups. What kind of car is it? We got ITC. What kind of camera you shooting? Which way we looking? What do we need to control? All these things. I can break down your script from beginning to end and tell you exactly what's required to make your dream a possibility. I'm trained to do that. This is not just kind of like, well, this is and my job is to make sure we can execute these things, right? What kind of camera do you need? What kind of crane do you need? What kind of DP you think? What kind of background is it? You want it to rain? We need special effects. What kind of car? We are making a sound, right? Gunshots. You got to let the authorities know. All these things.
You better let the watch commander know.
Exactly. Let everybody know. Everyone got to be dialed in. And my job is to run the set. Let the heads of each department know this is what's happening next. Prepare your team. Actors, call them in the morning. Call them at night. We're changing the scripts, changing the scene order. So-and-so, you coming in later on today, right? These things are happening. You're moving the schedule. You're putting it in paper. You make it plain. So our AD makes the script plain for the crew. Mm-hmm. You schedule things for accommodating the locations, the cast, the crew, and the resources that you have, right? You basically make a script happen, right? You're in production. I need someone, a good AD makes things easier for a director. A director needs to be thinking about creativity, dealing with the cast, right? Making sure we get the right emotional context. The AD needs to be dealing with the outside world, right? So the director's looking at this right inside this frame, right? The AD is dealing with everything outside. You keep the train on the tracks.
There you go.
Yeah, it makes your life easier as a director.
Makes it, definitely.
Does the director bring you on board, or is it the producers, writers?
Both. On features, normally a director will bring you. If they have a working relationship with you, they like how you run the set. You get you get jobs through the directors. On TV, a lot of times the producers do it because it's a long-term relationship, and the directors on TV come and go. They're there to prep maybe 7 days. They shoot 7-8 days, and they're out of there to the next show. So producers in TV bring you on, and features is director's team. So you got to have a relationship with both of them. And that goes back to my point, though. Like, so when I'm out in this world and I'm trying to find someone I'm in line with, like my wife and I'm good. I've been married 14 years. Like, we got Howard in common, we got Kansas City in common. Mm-hmm. We go, we party hard on Republic Gardens and dream and love, and then Sunday morning we up in Rankin Chapel and listening to Dyson and Bishop so and so. So we was there. I mean, and then we marching around the state capitol. I mean, the Justice Building with Reverend Al Sharpton, and we planning the 40th anniversary of Martin Luther King March on Washington. We've involved in all these different things, which is kind of leads to why we did our we have a nonprofit. We kind of like, how can we give back? We had 2 young boys. We want to give back to the community in a way that can help young folks with education. So we started an academy in 2012.
Yes.
We just finished a summer camp. We had 60 kids. Where's your kids testing, especially in urban America, where you're overcrowded, lack of space, 2 computers for 40 kids. You don't know what the state requires because you're working 2 jobs. So we just say, hey, let's help these parents.
And
You know, that's what we started on the side as well. And it's been growing, and we have a board, and they have a building, and we have kids getting shuttled there. So it's a way of giving back. I had to balance my life because I could just be totally into Hollywood like some of these ADs do, jumping on features and film. I said, no, but then I need someone to be holding this kite. You know, I need something to root me. You know, I need root so I can produce fruit. And I got to be in the soil somewhere. I got to have a family. I got to have some kind of spiritual connection to why am I doing all this? You know, I don't care about the celebrity status or the notoriety. I'm just here just to kind of, because I love being on set. I love the energy of making something happen. I like to see the actors perform. I like to see the cinematographers put focus. I like hearing the sound mixers with the sound. I love setting the background, creating the atmosphere, all these things, you know. So it was just a natural fit for me.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a natural fit. I couldn't be honest with you, I wouldn't know what else to do in this world. You know, I wouldn't know what to do. I mean, I probably could be a teacher.
Okay.
You know, I was actually thinking about, I was at Howard, I was talking to the sister who's the dean of communication, and I said, I want to come back and help some of these youngsters. Because when I came here, there was no one in Howard that was there. I did meet one brother that worked at Fox, but there was no one like, yo, come over here, let's put this thing together. So I said, I'm going to help some youngsters here just to kind of figure things out decision-wise.
You started Urban Academy in 12, you say, right?
Yeah, 2012.
It's you and
myself and my wife.
Okay.
So my wife's one of these teachers who you wish your kids had. She taught at 74th Street Magnet, which is in South LA.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and they had a good principal there. He passed away. But you know, we just started at a community center. We live in Inglewood. And we went up the street in a community center on a Saturday and was like, yo, let's just have a place where kids can come on Saturdays. You know, we take them on field trips. We do some science projects. We do election stuff. We do academic stuff. We do arts and crafts. And parents dropped the kids off, and then it grew. And then we ran out another room and said add more classes. We hired some teachers, and then that grew. And then we said, man, we're gonna need a building. Parents have more needs. They need after school stuff. They need summer. We just finished a summer camp, which was very busy.
Okay.
Right. So
now you're summer camp, weekends.
Summer camp, weekends, after school.
Okay.
Yeah. And we give you a state standard assessment of your son or daughter's strengths and weaknesses.
Okay.
Right? So they take a test. We say they're strong in geometry, weak in this. They're in the 4th grade. They probably should be, but they're testing on the 2nd grade. You need to work on this. We can provide you those resources. Give a scaffolding of what's required to get to the state to standards. Parents don't know until it's too late. But if you go into the school year armed with what you need, you can succeed because you know where to go. A lot of times our parents get stuff after the fact. I didn't know you was flunking.
Yeah.
We got to be proactive versus reactive.
Okay.
Especially us. In this game, we got to figure out what the goalpost is and start working our way towards it.
Yeah,
you know?
It's a moving goalpost.
Totally.
Do any kids know what you do?
Yeah. Yes. I don't like to brag about it, but my wife, she's like my cheerleader. And I do tell them about that. I do tell them about it, and I tell them the work that's required. I tell them the hours that you put in. I tell them that you can have a trade, but you have to be committed. So here's the thing. Work ethic, effort, and focus. As young folks, they lack that, okay? Work ethic, effort, and focus. Work ethic, how hard are you going to work to achieve your goal? Okay? Effort, how much effort are you going to put into it? Is it just one try or you quit? And focus, can you pay attention for longer than a 20-second period, right? Yeah, those 3 things, you can do it, okay? So you have these tools, then you got the exterior circumstances, the time, the space, and the resources, okay? And the people, that's at the 4th. So we're fighting time, right? You're in a classroom of maybe 5-6 hours a day. Space, not enough space to learn, and resources, not enough equipment. And that's in every profession, right? You're fighting time, space, and resources with your work ethic, effort, and focus. How are you going to succeed your goal, okay? You guys are in schools with this lack of time, this lack of space, and these lack of resources, and you're coming in with dull tools of work ethic, effort, and focus. How are you going to succeed? right? You got to sharpen your tools, right? So you put it, and you know, my sons hear it all the time. You have to sharpen your tools. Got to get ready. It's not hard. You just got, the hardest part is just sitting down and saying, okay, I'm gonna do this.
I'm gonna do this.
Right. So that's our gift in our community. And parents to thank us for it, man. I mean, you have so many different parents and walks of life just need a place for their kids to kind of be in a learning environment.
And it helps.
And it helps. And they create friendships. And we went to San Diego on the bus. We take them on field trips.
Yeah.
I mean, the social circumstances of South LA.
Yes.
Insurmountable, right?
Yeah.
So that's our way of kind of giving back to that.
No,
You know?
very cool.
Yeah.
Before we go, we got this little thing called Running with the Bison.
Yeah, right.
It's a little thing where we wrap up. It's a little random fun. I'm going to ask you some questions. And if you like it, well, what the hell, let's just do it. For the answer, yes, you're going to say Coleman. And for no, you're going to say no, man. So let me just run these 10 questions by you and see what just these phrases, and you answer.
No man, no man.
Coleman.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, man.
Coleman, no, man.
Coleman.
Been camping in a tent.
No, man. That's on the list, though.
Gone on a blind date.
Coleman.
Watch someone give birth.
Coleman. Yes. Yes, indeed.
Skinny dipping.
No, man. Nah.
Been in a car accident.
Coleman. Yes.
Witnessed a shooting.
No, man. The effects, I mean, maybe it was around the corner or not point blank.
Yeah.
But you heard the shot. You see the ripple. Yeah.
Yeah, you said.
Yeah.
I heard.
Yeah, exactly.
Run people running. Ah!
Yeah.
All right. Skydiving.
Nah, man.
Tattoos.
Nah, man. Nah. No tattoos, no piercings. I'm just plain Jane, huh?
Manscaping.
Nah, man.
And on that note,
Yeah, my brother.
that is all the time we have. Before we go, I'd like to have you give your best HU call.
HU? You know?
What are you working on? Anything? I mean, what are you working on? Scandal? Anything? New things? A couple things coming up?
Yeah, I'm on Scandal, man. We're on season 6 right now, and we got we're going. We'll be doing until April. We shoot until April. I have some things I'm working on myself. I haven't directed in a long time, and I need to do that to get my boys. I like to do some stuff for them, so they can see their dad.
Okay.
You know, just because I've been AD, so I want to do some things on my own, and I've been writing. So I probably would do something if not during our hiatus, then during our summer hiatus. But I'm on Scandal, and you know, just plugging away as an AD, brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If anybody wants to reach you, how can we reach you?
I'm on Twitter, man. That's the only social media I'm on. I'm basically on there for kind of reading articles and email or news. My tag is Brother Imhotep, BROTHER, Imhotep, IMHOTEP, all one word. Yeah, I'm on there just to kind of read news, and I do email people back. People find me through LinkedIn. I'm hired. I'm not one of these guys. You know, I actually email you back.
Okay.
You know, because I understand. You know, it's a moving. This industry is not as easy to access as others.
Definitely, man. Thank you so much for coming to the yard and doing the Bison Chats. Please look for the Bison Chats every Monday on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube. And feel free to post comments and questions on Twitter at KRG Bison Project using the hashtag Bison Chats. Another shout out to sophomore Eric L. Powell Jr., a.k.a. ELPJ, and Jay Blanco, who provided the Bison Chats theme song. Shout out to Greer Spry, our amazing social media coordinator. Shout out to Hilliard Guest, our production consultant. Not a bison, but we still dig him. Diamonique Drummond, thank you for being here, our Bison Chats intern. Also not a bison, but she is from the city of brotherly love. Maybe sisterly love. We call it Philly. And of course, our producers, Stacey Alfonso and Kelly R. Griffin. Thank you for having me here as always on the yard. I am Rod Email. You can find me at Bison Chats, host at krgbisonproject.com. Hey, if you wake up tomorrow, you got half a chance, people. You got half a chance.